Hello everyone, my name is Roberto Gregoricidor, Texidor Barbosa de la Joya Brillante, but you may call me Robby for short. And today, let's explore what a Pokemon champion team would look like if Jules Sparkles had won RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17. This is an ongoing series with many more Drag Race seasons to cover, so make sure to subscribe to stay caught up on new videos. And without further ado, let's get started. If Jules Sparkles had won the season, that means Onya Nurve would be our final Elite Four member instead. Every Pokemon trainer in the league has a type specialty, of course, and Onya's would be fighting. Her drag name is a pun off the phrase on your nerve, which reminds me of that feeling of wanting to fight someone when they get on your nerves. She was also the catalyst for a couple of altercations throughout the season, and she is never afraid to speak her mind. Let's grab her ace Pokemon from her champion team, Lucario, based on her press week look for BuzzFeed Celeb. I paired her up with this choice because of a video by Alley Cat on TikTok where she goes over various Pokemon and decides, in her opinion, who can say the word.
I'm finna tell you which Pokemon I think could say the word.
I felt that Lucario would be a character that would appear on that list, particularly because of the black appendages behind its head simulating dreadlocks. The blue color scheme also matches the look, while her bracelets represent the spikes on its paws. Her second Pokemon is Beware, based on her look for the Betsy's Prom collection. I focused on the pink color scheme that complements this Pokemon, and the bows add a cuteness factor that's associated with teddy bears. Her third Pokemon is Quaquaval, based on her Nailed It runway. Thank you to Dre the Stallion on the Ditto Daycare Discord server for this suggestion. The blue color schemes obviously complement each other, and I like how the extravagant headpiece resembles the plumage on its head. I was also sold on the suggestion when I thought about how Quaquaval's feet go in, out, in, out, in, out, as it dances during its idle animation. Her fourth Pokemon is Serena, based on her Is It Cake runway. Isn't it kind of funny to think of Serena and Quaquaval on the same team, considering its Violet Pokédex entry says they're rivals? Onya approached the runway category with a look inspired by a peach. So I chose Serena because its design is based on a fruit. Serena is not a fighting type, but you have to remember that I allowed myself to give each Elite Four member one other Pokemon that represented an aspect of their drag outside of their assigned type. In Anya's case, Serena represents her runway walk, how she takes her time to really showcase her looks. It can also learn fighting type moves to keep up with the rest of her team. Her final Pokemon is Toxapex, based on her Sea Creature Couture runway. I gave an aquatic Pokemon to each queen on the season, and Onya is no different. Toxapex is based on a Crown of Thorns starfish, while this look is inspired by an African sea star, both of which are echinoderms. This Toxapex was terrestrialized into a fighting type, following suit with the rest of her team. Congratulations! We've beaten the Elite Four in this alternate universe. Now let's find out which Pokemon our final challenger will face you with. At last, we've reached our final challenge. One more trainer to face before receiving the coveted title of Pokémon League Champion. Jules Sparkles had a brilliant showing on the season, securing 2 challenge wins, and she was at the forefront of the most impactful moments on the show. Let's grab her ace Pokemon from her Elite Four team, Carbink, based on her Masked for Masked Singer runway, and build a team around it. For a queen whose brand is all about rhinestones, Carbink is a no-brainer, as it is categorized as the jewel Pokemon. I like how Carbink's ears look similar to Jules' mask, and the details on her bodice resemble the gemstones on its body. Her second Pokemon is Miltank, based on her talent show performance. This is another borrowed choice from her Elite Four team that I felt was warranted, since her talent number was an instant favorite amongst the fandom. Plus, there's the obvious connection to cows, which Miltank is based on. Her third Pokemon is Gastrodon, based on her Sea Creature Couture runway. Gastrodon is based on a sea slug, and this dress is based on a Spanish dancer, which is a type of sea slug. Makes me think of Elton John's Hold Me Closer, Spanish Dancer. Jules would have a West Sea Gastrodon because it's pink and very girly pop, and it can also help handle Carbink's weaknesses to ground and steel. Her fourth Pokemon is Bombardier, based on her opulent outerwear look. I focused on the white feathered coat and the elegant fringes in her hair that resemble Bombardier's fan-like crest. Bombardier's signature ability is Rocky Payload, giving it a 50% boost in power to its Rock-type moves, which references her initial Rock-type specialty. Her 5th Pokemon is Popstar Pikachu, based on her entrance look. You may be thinking that Pikachu is a choice for a champion team, but think of its status as a protagonist across Pokemon media. Jules was a very prominent character on the show, even though she wasn't the eventual winner. She was at the forefront of many controversial moments on the show, including the infamous Trim confrontation and the entire roast episode. Costume Pikachu is a campy choice, of course, that I think relates to her drag family's ties to Pokemon contests, if you will. Her final Pokemon is Screamtail, paired with her tickled pink runway. Jules' runways came in a variety of colors, but pink is definitely a signature color for her, as you probably noticed from the rest of her team. Her drag style is partly inspired by Ariana Grande, which Screamtail was famously compared to because of how the long tuft on its head resembles Ariana Grande's signature ponytail. I stray away from overpowered or rare Pokemon typically, but I sometimes allow for one exception in a champion team because when it's right, it's right. Just like Onya in her champion section, Jules would also terrestrialize her Pokemon, in this case her Screamtail, into a Stellar type, giving her a boost in power once for each of its moves in its moveset. What do you think of my choices? Let me know in the comments below, and subscribe for more Pokemon content coming your way. Thank you so much for watching, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and as always, I appreciate you being here. Bye!